Welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show. The tailgate show for the tailgaters. Done by the not-so-ready for prime-time pickers. Hosted by the Lunch Eaters Man of the Year and legendary broadcaster Bill Bubba Bussey. You only thought you knew college football. Call Mama Moon and saddle up for a football experience. Now, here's Bubba.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Tailgate Tailgate Show. I am Bill Bubba Bussey, your host, along with Hunter Bussey, Nathan Hall, and our guest picker this week, who we'll introduce to you in just a minute. But the Tailgate Tailgate Show is for the tailgaters who are headed out to enjoy some college football. I'm glad to be here with you. I'm your semi-retired, mostly washed-up host, formerly of the Rick and Bubba Show, and now the host of Bubba on the Lake and the Tailgate Tailgate Show. Gentlemen, how are you doing? Hunter, how are you, sir?
I'm great. I'm ready for another week of college football, specifically SEC this week. It's kind of SEC heavy.
A lot of good games out there, and you know, this is getting to be a critical time of year. We'll run down the AP top 20, but we're 1 week away from the college football playoff, the first rankings being addressed, and that'll be very exciting too. Nathan, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic. The weather is starting to cool off a little bit. It feels like football weather outside. And all these coaching vacancies are opening up, and the schedules are getting a little bit more meaningful as we go on. And the Colts are 7-1, so I'm going to continue sleeping in my Colts jersey.
Well, I know you love those Colts. Well, let's do a quick recap from last week. Hunter, you and Nathan won the week with a 7-1 record. You're now overall, well, we'll go back to that. I was 6-2 and Rick Carley was 6-2. But overall, I'm still in the lead, 53 wins and 17 losses for a 76% picking average. And you guys are at 47 and 23, which is a 67%. So all of us doing pretty good, and I'm holding a slight lead.
We'll take it. I told Nathan the other day, favor ain't fair from last week, and this week is sure to be a stinker. So it has to balance it out some way. So.
Well, we have a very, very special guest picker. He's a gentleman who I met, I guess maybe about a year ago. Rusty, you'll have to clue us in on that, but I think we decided that I actually DJ'd one of your class reunions one time. Our guest picker is Rusty Taylor. He is the voice of Clay Central, the Volunteers, and also does the mornings on Classic Country 90.9 with our friend Chris Herron. Rusty, welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited about the opportunity. And actually, you DJ'd my senior prom is what you DJ'd for me.
Wow.
So, yeah, 95 senior prom.
Well,
high school. So that's he probably don't want me to tell those years, but
well, you know,
you were just a little bit older than me, just a tad at that time.
You know, if this wound vac, pick line, and crutches don't make me feel old, you sure did, Rusty. Thank you. Rusty,
we just have our 30-year class reunion a couple of weeks ago. So just so you know, just adding that in there.
Well, Rusty, I know for a fact you do a great job doing play-by-play. How is Clay Central doing this year?
Well, doing very well. 9-1. We've already finished the regular season. They've got this week off. Had a big win this past week over 6A. You know, we're a 5A school. But we had a big win over 6A Pell City, 6-3. You don't hear very many games like that anymore.
Wow.
No. A defensive battle over at Pell City and a really good game. And they're a good team. They're a 6A playoff team. And our Volunteers, roll into the playoffs 9-1. We're hosting Sipsey Valley in a couple of weeks. And, Coach Danny Horn, the winningest coach in Alabama High School Athletic Association history, is our coach. And it's just a blessing to have him. And here in Clay County, we do expect to win. And, we'll talk about some of these teams today that gets you a long way. It really, really does, especially in high school football. So it's an honor and a great opportunity that I have to broadcast Volunteer athletics. We do not just football, we do all athletics. So we're actually doing cross country on Friday. So we do a little bit of everything.
You know, Rusty, I love that because not too many radio stations would say, hey, we'll cover cross country. Unless you put a portable unit on Bone and make him run through the woods with the kids.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of done something very similar to that. We've had him out there. So, you guys think a lot like we do, but we do. We done golf this year, our first golf match. That was fun. But
Oh, yeah.
it's golf is different. Golf is different to broadcast for sure, but we enjoyed it, and the kids really liked it. I think Dayville, which is right down there close to you now. Dayville was one of the teams that came up here in that match, and it was just neat. They were just as excited as our volunteer golfers were. But it's football season. You were talking about that. The first time I've pulled out a long sleeve shirt was a couple of days ago, so it's nice. It feels like football weather finally.
It does, and this is such a great time of year if you love sports because you have NFL, college going on, you have the NBA starting, and you have the World Series going on. So it is a sportsman's paradise. Rusty, how long have you been doing Clay Central?
I actually started in 2016. My son graduated a couple of years of that. He played, and at that time, I was a volunteer coach. I coached junior high football at Clay Central. So kind of stepped away a little bit after he graduated and got the opportunity to start broadcasting. And then in 17, 16 was my first year. 17, we were able to go to Jordan-Hare and win a 5A state championship. Came back, did it again in 18. Just a lot of opportunities broadcasting and kind of move fast. But what a great opportunity in my second year to get to broadcast from Jordan-Hare, which I'm an Auburn fan, and get that opportunity to broadcast a state championship. Many broadcasters they do it a lifetime and never get to broadcast a state championship. So I've been blessed to be able to do that. Just a great team to follow. And I've had some other opportunities at times to do some other games around the state. And just really enjoy all football, but high school football, and I love college football too, even though I'm an Auburn fan.
Yeah, well, that makes it tough. We understand that for sure. So let me be sure I got this. You are a volunteer coach.
That would be right.
Okay. I want to be sure I had that.
Volunteer coach, yeah.
Well, guys, let me throw this out at you. The question we wanted to look at this week with Brian Kelly now being fired from LSU, what is the most attractive spot, open job, if you will, in the country? Now, keep in mind, we have 10 current jobs open in Division I. We have 8 in the power conferences. LSU, Florida, Arkansas, UCLA, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, Stanford, Penn State, and then we also have Oregon State and UAB. Hunter, I'll start with you. What's the most attractive job?
I mean, for me personally, I think it's Florida. You have a very passionate fan base there. I think that with the tradition that comes with that program, they're looking for a top-tier coach. It wouldn't shock me if Lane Kiffin goes there. But I think also just the location for Florida. I mean, you're near the coastline. You know what I mean? I mean, what beats that? You're coaching football on Saturdays, get to go hang out on the coast on Sundays. You know what I mean? So to me, that's the most attractive job. And it's in the SEC, yeah, but, I mean, it's Florida. Come on.
Well, and let's face it, if you get fired, they make you rich. Nathan, what do you say?
Yeah.
Well, Florida is definitely, in terms of being in a recruiting hotbed, I think Florida is an attractive location. I'm going to say LSU here. I think LSU, because you're in a good recruiting area, you're kind of in between Texas and Florida. But LSU is not a rebuild like Florida is. If you take that Florida job, you're basically doing a full rebuild. And at LSU, you're close. I mean, you're really close. It's the best stadium in college football. It's a passionate fan base. And I don't see the coach having to do a complete overhaul at LSU like you would have to do at Florida. I think Lane Kiffin would fit that role perfectly, and I know that's a conversation for another time, but I think it's LSU.
Well, there's other things that go into this other than just stadium and fan base expectations. You got to look at support from the administration, NIL. You got to look at what kind of alumni base they have to give. What do you think, Rusty?
It's hard to argue with LSU, honestly, for me. But, Hunter had a great argument with Florida. We automatically think here in the Southeast, though, because Penn State's a solid job. I mean, we got to be honest about it. It's a competitive job as well. But they continue to come open. You start wondering, it's the same coaches interested in the same, multiple jobs. And, and is it going to become a money battle? That's what you wonder. Who, of course, Lane Kiffin's name's right at the top, but I think we've heard figures and we've heard interest from Florida, and obviously I think any open school would be interested in him, at least up front. So, but I'm going with LSU. Just the immediate history. Of course, Florida's got great history. Penn State does too. But just for me, maybe it's just because of recent history, I'm going LSU.
Well, if you're curious as to how ESPN ranks them, and they based it on quite a few things that they were looking at, some that I was mentioning: support from the administration, student support, NIL availability, and past history of recruits and putting people in the pros. They say the number one job is LSU. Number 2 is Penn State. Number 3 is Florida. And number 4, which may be surprising to a lot of people, Oklahoma State. Any shocks there?
Oklahoma State's pretty shocking. I feel like, they're kind of second fiddle to Oklahoma. But, it doesn't shock me because I'm going blank on his name. That's been there, I feel like, forever, even before I was born.
Pick on me, I'm a man.
Yeah, I'm 40.
I can see his haircut.
Yeah. But I feel like he had enough support for that, amount of years. If you can show success at that school, you'll be there for a while. So that doesn't, it kind of shocks me that they're in the 4th spot. But then if you think about it hard enough, it's, not that shocking at all.
I'm curious as to UCLA. There's not as much pressure to win there as maybe in the SEC. You get to play out there in the Rose Bowl. The weather's perfect. I'm a little shocked they wasn't a little higher on that list, but we'll see how all that plays out. All right, guys, good discussion on that. We'll be right back. We're going to take a break here, and we're going to start with our picks. We've got some really good games, and some strange games we've got to talk about. We'll run down the top 20 also when we come back on the Tailgate Tailgate Show in just a minute.
Hey Auburn fans, this is Lois Ann Murphy, your owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Alex City, located on Highway 280. As a former Auburn cheerleader, football is my favorite time of the year. Tailgating and Chick-fil-A are a perfect match. Let Chick-fil-A Alex City take care of all your catering needs. We have a variety of trays, nuggets, mac and cheese, grilled Cool Wraps, and more. All are perfect for your tailgating needs. Place your order through the Chick-fil-A app or call 256-289-7955 and War Eagle.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, decals, and focus more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels wants to be your reliable printer. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels, 205-640-4552 or GuaranteedLabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Tailgate Tailgate Show, the tailgate show for the tailgaters. And remember, our website is the Tailgate Show. Let me get that right. The Tailgate Tailgate Show.com. We have all of our information there. We have our radio partners there, and everything you need to know about what's going on here is available there. All right, we have some games to talk about this week. Let me. I was going to say hit the top 20, but I hit my microphone. Real quick, the Associated Press top 25. Ohio State, number 1, Indiana 2, Texas A&M 3, Alabama 4, Georgia 5. Then we have Oregon, Ole Miss, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, and Miami Rounding out the top 10, there's a tie there with BYU. Notre Dame is 12, Texas Tech, Tennessee 14, Virginia 15, Louisville, Cincinnati, Oklahoma at 18, Missouri and Texas coming in at number 20. Then we have Michigan, Houston, USC, Utah, and Memphis coming in at number 25. They're 7-1, by the way. Could be a dark horse when it gets to the playoffs. We'll have to look for that. All right, here's a game that is just very odd to me to look at. Vanderbilt, number 9 in the country, going to play Texas, who is number 20. Now, that is almost like some Halloween horror movie from my past because I never thought that would ever be possible. Hunter, how do you see this, and dare you pick against the Doors?
This is like a game that's been orchestrated by the Upside Down and Stranger Things. It just has all the makings of something weird. But I think, honestly, Vanderbilt, I'm not picking against them the rest of the year. They've proven that they can win no matter the situation. Obviously, the Bama game is a different story, but they're built very well offensively and defensively. So is Texas, but Texas hasn't really shown me anything besides that Oklahoma game. Give me Vanderbilt in this one by 2 touchdowns.
Wow, Nathan, that's big pick in there.
Yeah, I don't feel safe betting against Diego Paul. I can see him in his gold chain just staring at me, daring me to bet against him. I think I'm going to do it. Texas has impressed me a lot the last few weeks, I'd say. The Oklahoma game was shocking to everyone. That was Arch Manning's kind of coming out game and making a statement that, hey, I'm who I'm supposed to be. And then this Mississippi State game that we just watched really put their mental toughness on display because they had no business being in that game late, and we saw some late game heroics from Arch. I think Texas, because their roster is so loaded, and I get that Vandy has put a lot into NIL and transfer portal, but this Texas roster is so loaded, and Arch Manning is starting to look like what we were told Arch Manning was going to look like. So as scary as it is betting against the hot Vanderbilt Commodores, I'm going to roll with Arch in Texas.
Rusty, What do you think?
Well, you look at Diego Pavia, and of course he's worked himself realistically into the Heisman Trophy as a Heisman Trophy candidate. And you look at him, and of course I witnessed him, us Auburn's fans did before he went to Vanderbilt. So we did see his ability there. But honestly, I think it's catching up to him, in my opinion. I think Texas has so much talent, and Vanderbilt has talent, but it doesn't match up with Texas's talent. I think, Manning's getting things under him, getting more comfortable. And I just it's more a feeling than just looking out there and trying to figure out the difference. But I just have a feeling that this is the week gets it done and gives Vanderbilt its second loss. So that's the way I'm going. I think it'll be very close, but I'm predicting a Texas win.
This is really a tough matchup because I can't get old Vanderbilt out of my mind. I've seen, the new Vanderbilt, and it's very impressive, by the way. And but I'm kind of like you guys. I feel like Texas is like it's like one of them old westerns where they had the TNT and they had all the gunpowder in the barrel, and they keep lighting the fuse and they just can't get it right, and then eventually the fuse takes off and it blows up. Texas talent might outlast Vanderbilt in the fourth quarter. I think if it was anywhere else, I would pick Vanderbilt, but since it's at Texas, I'm going to pick the Longhorns by narrow victory late in the game. So I'm going with Texas on that one. Another interesting matchup, South Carolina travels to Ole Miss. Rusty, I'll flip it around, go to you first.
Well, South Carolina obviously coming off a heartbreaking loss to Alabama, really had a true opportunity to win that game and just didn't get it done. Or you could say, and I would say, Alabama came and won the game, but, definitely had their chances. Did South Carolina played hard. We see that their defense is for real, but I just think Ole Miss's offense is just too much. I mean, I think Lane Kiffin has them going. I know there's a lot of talk out there. We've talked about the other games or the other schools that are open, but I just don't think so. I think Trinidad Chambliss continues to improve and impress. He's an impressive guy. They can just do so much offensively, and I think South Carolina is still going to be a little bit, bummed about that loss last week and that opportunity, and I think Ole Miss just takes big advantage and beats them by 3 scores is what I'm predicting.
Nathan, what do you think?
So I said week 1, as Hunter loves to remind me and remind our listeners, that Lenora Sellers was the best quarterback in the SEC and that he would win the Heisman. I have to back off of the Lenora Sellers thing. It's just, he looked impressive against Alabama. He had a lot of really, really good moments, some acrobatics, some third down saves. But at the end of the game, he reverted back to the Lenora Sellers that we've seen the last 6 or 7 weeks. Lane has got Ole Miss rolling. I mean, they've got the Georgia game on their record, but it's Georgia. I think Trinidad Chambliss is legit. I think he has more than lived up to his hype. All the talk was Lenora Sellers, and then here's Trinidad Chambliss, the transfer from Ferris State, who's playing at a higher level right now. So I see no reason to pick against Ole Miss here. I think South Carolina is going to be kind of coming off of that Alabama low, and Ole Miss is playing some of their best football of the year. So I'm going to roll with Lane and the Ole Miss Rebels.
Hunter?
Yeah, I agree. Trinidad Chambliss has been very fun to watch, and he's honestly one of those kind of surprising, uprising stars in the SEC that we seem to get every year. You know, last year it was Pavia, even though we saw him at New Mexico State, like Rusty mentioned, whenever they beat Auburn, was it 2 years ago? I think, but I really like what Ole Miss has got going right now. Yes, they lost to Georgia, but like Nathan said, it's Georgia. I think if South Carolina was going to get any momentum in this game, it was going to be to beat Alabama last week, and they ran out of gas in the tank, if you will. So give me Ole Miss in this game by also 2 touchdowns.
You spoke of Pavia. He beat Auburn 2 years ago at New Mexico State and beat them last year at Vandy. He's going for the Triple Crown this year in Nashville in a couple of weeks. On this game, Ole Miss is for real. Lane Kiffin has built a legitimate top 10 program there. It was not an easy job to do, but he has done it. Ole Miss is favored by 13 points. I think that might be generous for South Carolina. I see Ole Miss running away with this one in the second half. Mississippi State, who played Texas right down to the last play, is going to Arkansas. Hunter, what do you say? Arkansas is a 3.5 to 3.5 point favorite, which is basically home field.
Yeah, I like Arkansas in this matchup. I think Mississippi State is a good team, but now that Arkansas has Petrino at the helm, they almost gave Auburn a run for their money last weekend. Somehow Auburn was able to pull that out over there, but I really like Arkansas. I really like this team. I think their quarterback is good. He just made some mistakes there at the end in the second half. I think without those, I think they would have beat Auburn no problem. Give me Arkansas in this game this week.
Let's see. Where are we at here on the list? I got the listing to you, and I lost my place. Nathan, go ahead.
I think I'm also going to have to roll with Arkansas. The quarterback over there, Green, is really impressive. His ceiling is high, and he makes mistakes. I mean, we saw the 3 interceptions late against Auburn that kind of put the nail in the coffin for Arkansas. But Mississippi State has they've been at the doorstep so many times this year, the Tennessee game, the Texas game, and as good as they've looked, they just can't get over that. They can't finish. You have to be able to finish games in the SEC, and the Arkansas loss, while they did lose to an Auburn team that on paper doesn't seem that impressive, Auburn has also been at the doorstep a lot this year. I think they're better than people think they are, than what their record shows. So I don't think that's a bad loss for Arkansas. I think with Petrino and Green kind of tag teaming this now, I feel good about Arkansas beating Mississippi State.
Rusty, how do you see it?
Well, this is probably as even a game as you could ask for right here. But and you look at the all-time series, when I kind of was looking at that, it's the same way. Actually, Arkansas leads the series 35-34. And honestly, I think Mississippi State evens it up this time. I think Mississippi State's just an impressive team. I think they're gradually getting there. I think Jeff Levy's doing a great job there. You know, Bobby Petrino's doing a great job. Both of them had tough losses this past week, so you can't really kind of similar there. Arkansas is at home, but I really think that turnover bug that got them this past week is going to continue. I think it's been a problem for Arkansas, and I think turnovers will be the difference, and I think Mississippi State gets a win.
By the way, that's Brian Kelly leaving the area. You may hear the train.
He's on the train. That's it. He's got sacks of cash in each hand. I think it's $50 million total.
Yeah, he's going to look like one of them World War II movies toting the gold bricks out, that's for sure. This week, this is quite a matchup. I think if Arkansas can ever get the turnovers under control, they're going to be a pretty good team. They're struggling. I understand that. 3.5-point favorite at home, basically a toss-up. I'm going to go with the Hogs again. I think Bobby Petrino will simplify and get it worked out. Sweet hip pigs. I'm going with the Razorbacks. All right, we have the big Georgia-Florida game in Jacksonville. It's a neutral site. Hunter, how do you see it?
Yeah, I know this game is neutral site. It's in Jacksonville, Florida. You think it would give home field advantage to Florida. That has not been the case the past couple of years. Florida, as they upset Texas, I think they'll hang with Georgia for the first half, and then Georgia will run away with it in the second half. Give me the Bulldogs by 10.
Nathan?
Yeah, Florida loves to make this game close. The last couple of years have gone that way. DJ Lagway just has not impressed me. I mean, he's had moments, he's had flashes, and I think his ceiling he's kind of like Green at Arkansas. I think his highs are really high, but his lows are low. And, I mean, it's Kirby Smart. You couldn't pay me enough money to bet against Kirby Smart and his timeout claps. Yeah, it's me and Hunter like to joke about. But, I don't see any reason to pick against Arkansas here. They know their backs are against the wall with the Bama loss on their record. And those top 5 or 6 teams in the SEC, by the way, that are all one loss, undefeated, I mean, the race to the SEC title game is tight. It's going to be a photo finish. So Georgia knows they've got to take care of business here, and I don't think Florida is going to stop them.
Rusty, how do you see it?
Well, we look at it in Georgia, in my opinion, seeing them, in person against Auburn. And actually, watching that game, going back to that game, I felt like Auburn was the better team. And that may seem crazy, but that's really looking at them out there playing each other. Of course, it didn't end that way, and I'm not going back to any calls or anything. I just, think Auburn didn't go win the game. But Georgia is not as impressive, not nearly as dominant as they have been of late, the last few years, what we expect out of Georgia. But they're still a good bit better than Florida. Billy Gonzalez doing a great job. But the job being open, there's so much up in the air with Florida. These are young kids. It's got to be in their head about who we're getting. Who's got that kind of thing is, am I going in the portal? Depending on who we get, all these things are in their minds. So I think, Georgia, that would make it 5 in a row. Go back to Tuberville back in the day. They can hold up the whole hand in 5 fingers after Saturday night. I think Georgia's just too much for Florida.
Well, it will be a big party, that's for sure. There'll be no losers in that game. But, yeah, I agree with you guys. When a coach leaves and there's that vacancy, the assistant coaches know that they're probably going to be unemployed. And I think they start thinking and making calls to people that they know and trying to get some parachutes and some other things lined up. And it takes away from focus on the game. I don't see how it couldn't. I think it's just a very human reaction. But I am with the Bulldogs. I'm not betting against Kirby. They're a touchdown favorite. And, again, that may be a little bit low when all is said and done. Another good game, and this is one of those games that when Oklahoma and Texas joined the SEC, I thought these are going to be really good, colorful games to watch on TV because of the color matchups and all of that. It's just going to be visually intriguing. Oklahoma at Tennessee. Hunter, how do you see it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna be watching Tron Aries when I'm watching this game on Saturday. It's a good helmet game, but I like Tennessee. I like Aguilar a lot. During the I believe it was the Georgia game, he impressed me a lot, and he has not shown any weaknesses as of late. I like Tennessee in this game. I think it'll be pretty close, but I like Tennessee a lot.
Nathan?
Yeah, I agree with Hunter. Talking about Oklahoma, I don't think Brent Venables has really established that defensive identity that I was expecting him to at Oklahoma. The Michigan game was closer to what I was expecting out of his tenure at Oklahoma, but they've given up a lot of points, and Tennessee is going to hang a lot of points on whoever they play. Joey Aguilar, of course, had that pick six in Bryant-Denny Stadium. That was sort of the one blot on his resume, but he's been phenomenal. Tennessee did a really good job picking him up. UCLA did a horrible job letting him go. I think he's been a real bright spot for Tennessee, and he's capable of putting the ball wherever he wants on the field. I think Oklahoma's secondary is going to struggle against him because they struggled against Trinidad Chambliss, and I think Joey Aguilar is a couple levels ahead of Trinidad Chambliss. So I'm going to put my faith in the Volunteers. We've been talking about the Volunteers a little bit today. I think the Volunteers are going to take care of business against Oklahoma.
Rusty, how you see it?
Well, I think Josh Heupel, we've talked about it, back his alma mater, big deal made of that last year going back. And, of course, he was fired as offensive coordinator there in 2014, I think it was. And I think he keeps the grudge going. I really do. I think this is a game that is, they say they don't highlight games, whatever, but it's in their mind that it's highlighted. And I think this game is highlighted for him. I think he's going to have those Volunteers ready to go, and we're going to see them look as good or maybe even better than we have. Y'all just mentioned it. Think about, they really should have beat Georgia. Look at where Tennessee sits had they beat Georgia. But think how important this game is in the SEC and in the playoffs. I mean, both of these teams realize that, the numbers are running out. If I'm going to get in, these are the games I've got to win. And I think Tennessee is the better team. Oklahoma's not quite back there yet, I don't think. And I think Tennessee's going to take advantage of them and put up, Oklahoma's known for their defense, but I think Tennessee's going to put up some points. And it'll be a reasonably close, about a touchdown game. But I really think Tennessee's the team.
Well, I can't go against that, Rusty. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. This will be a good game. Tennessee's a 3.5-point favorite. I think they'll take care of business. And like you said, I do think that the Tennessee coach has this circled. I mean, I just think anybody that's competitive, when somebody puts you out, you want to get them back. I just think it's human nature. Even though he may not say that, I think he would love this victory as much as any. Yeah, and it's going to be a good game. Tennessee sitting at number 14 in the country. Oklahoma at 18. Tennessee, what do they got? They got 2 losses. This really is an elimination game. Whoever loses this is going to be out of the playoff picture, and they know that, so they're going to have to really scrap. So I'm going with the Gray Skies of Rocky Top and Tennessee to pull this one off. You're listening to the Tailgate Tailgate Show, and we'll be right back.
Land is more than just dirt and timber. When you manage it, you're a steward of wildlife and a caretaker for future generations. The Management Advantage was built for people like you. For over 20 years, they've shared proven knowledge from some of the nation's top land and wildlife managers. From food plots to predator control, it's education that turns passion into a lasting impact. Have the advantage on your property. Subscribe on YouTube and follow the Management Advantage on social media today.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kinda just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
Hello, this is Robert Smith for Awards to Remember. I hope you'll think of us for trophies, plaques, and awards. We're famous for our low discount prices and our customer service is second to none. We were named as one of the top 10 awards dealers in the Southeast. We were a finalist for Alabama Small Business of the Year, and our website at awardstoremember.com is one of the best in the industry. Awards to Remember, where we don't just create trophies, we create memories.
Welcome back, folks. The Tailgate Tailgate Show. I'm your host, Bill Bubba Bussey, along with Hunter Bussey, Nathan Hall, and our special guest picker, Rusty Taylor of the Clay Central Volunteers. Also heard on Classic Country 90.9 with Coach Chris Herron. And been a pleasure to meet Rusty this year and get to know him better. He is a true sports-minded individual and loves these kind of things, and we're glad to have him on. Guys, Alabama has the week off. UAB back in action after their first big win. They are going to UConn. Hunter, how do you see it?
Yeah, I'm for the first time in a minute, I think I'm going with the Blazers here. They played really good against Memphis. Obviously getting an upset win there in Birmingham against the Memphis Tigers. I think that they're playing inspired football right now. I'm going blank on the interim coach's name. His dad, I believe, was on the NFL Network or
Mortensen.
ESPN. Yeah, Mortensen. Yes.
Alex Mortensen.
Correct. Yeah, there it is. But I think he will have them ready to go against the Huskies. Give me the Blazers big.
What do you say, Nathan?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Blazers as well. UConn's not exactly known for being a football powerhouse, so I don't feel confident going with them, and I don't know much about UConn football, to be honest. So I'm going to go with the local guys. I'm going to go with the fire-breathing Dragons of UAB.
Rusty, what do you say?
Well, it's an interesting team. You really look at it, and for the state of Alabama and for our area, it would be very good for UAB to be good. And when they first come back, we witnessed a program shut down, come back, and it came back with a vengeance, but it really hasn't been there. You look back at last year, UConn was down 17 at halftime to a better UAB team and come back and beat them last season. Scored 21 unanswered points and defeated them there last season. I don't think they'll have to come back. I can't go. I would love to pick UAB. My brother-in-law went to school there. He's got season tickets. I would love to pick them, but I just think UConn's going to be a little bit too much for UAB. But, UAB did pick up a big win. They're kind of in the unknown right now after firing Diffler. And, that didn't come out just right. But
hey, close enough, Rusty.
That happens to us. I'm from Clay County. Y'all got to understand that. But no, really, a big win against Memphis. And so you're really kind of figuring, are they getting the things back on the track? And I really hope they are, but I think UConn's going to be too much for UAB this week.
Yeah, man, I am so glad the Blazers got that win, and there's so many good folks in that program. And, I'm like you, Rusty. I think it's good when they're good. I would love to see UAB, Jack State, Troy, all those guys, USA, play each other more. I think it would be such great built-in rivalry. They would actually have people in the stands. And, I'm hoping for that day. But I don't think that UAB is ready for UConn. UConn is an 11-point favorite in this. They're at home. Maybe the Blazers can throw another log on the fire. We'll see. But I'm going to have to go with UConn in this particular game. Now, down on the Plains, Auburn, coming off a big win, will be hosting the Kentucky Wildcats. I'll spin it around here. Rusty, how you see this one?
Well, I'm an Auburn fan, but I'm also very hard on them. So I want to come out and say that from the start. But they did pick up a big win against Arkansas. They played a tough schedule. Ashton Daniels came out last week, and I wanted to mention that. He came out, and it wasn't that he played excellent. I mean, he didn't throw some balls to some correct receivers and things. That stuff happens. But I just felt like with him out there watching the other team, there was just instant motivation, I felt. Other players were more excited just for maybe a change, maybe just another opportunity. Of course, Coach Freeze hadn't announced he's going to start, but you do that. You don't want the opposing coach to know for sure. You want to keep that in his mind. Arnold did start good the other day, but I think Daniel starts without a doubt. And I think knowing he's starting, I was impressed by that young man, and I think Kentucky – down, they're probably very likely might be somebody looking for a coach by the end of the season as well. It just seems like that's where they're headed. And I just think Auburn's just going to be too much for Kentucky. And I hadn't been able to say that much this year, but I think I can say that this week.
Nathan, what do you say?
Well, we talked about earlier about the mindset of Florida's players with Napier, leaving and how that's going to affect them and stuff. There's been so much talk around Hugh Freeze, who is still the head coach. But you have to imagine that the players are wondering, how does this season, end up if we win out? Does Freeze stay? Are we going to be transferring out? All that kind of stuff. Ashton Daniels, looked good to me. He didn't look amazing. It's like Rusty said. We didn't see anything crazy, but he looked competent. He's a fifth-year senior, I believe, so he comes with a lot of experience. And I think Auburn fans probably feel safe with him in the game. I think safe is a good word. They don't fear the crazy turnover or whatever. against Kentucky, I mean, this is the worst team in the SEC. I feel like this will be an easier one for Auburn. And if Auburn wins out, we're talking about an 8-4 team that just beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl. I mean, there's no telling, what we could be talking about in December. So I expect Auburn to win this game handily. And then, they're going to have some more interesting tests coming up. But I don't see this game being particularly close. I'm going to say Ashton Daniels. I expect Ashton Daniels. And Auburn will win this one by about 20 points.
Hunter, what do you say?
Yeah, I thought Ashton Daniels looked really poised for being. I mean, that was his first, game in the SEC. As far as like in-game action, I was very impressed with that. He can run the ball. He's kind of sneaky with that, but when he throws the ball, it is like a freaking rifle. He was throwing some pellets, and I think that's something that, yes, Jackson could run the ball, but he was kind of overthrowing some people, missing them on easy, wide open routes. I think that'll change this weekend. I like Auburn in this one. I think Jordan Hare is going to be rocking. And if they don't, and somehow Hugh Freeze starts Jackson Arnold for some unknown reason, and Kentucky pulls it out, I will be like helping Caitlin move to DC, help Hugh Freeze pack his bags and wherever he wants to go, and I will help him find the door to the nearest exit. But yeah, give me Auburn in this game.
Coming back through then, wouldn't it?
Probably.
In a different direction.
Well, I said earlier I would not pick Auburn again this year till they showed me something. I saw a little something at Arkansas that there's still a little fire in the basement. They played good, and the question, and Rusty, you've been around this a long time too. Jackson Arnold was his pick to be the starting quarterback. But we saw half after half after half where Auburn was not scoring. They were going 3 and out, and everybody's looking at each other, shrugging their shoulders. Sometimes it just takes a change to get everybody motivated. And it may not be the best quarterback, but it's the change that gets people going. My only question for Hugh Freeze would be, why hadn't this guy played a series already? I mean, he's not played any. Why not stick him a series in the second quarter of every game or the third quarter when you've gone 3 and out 3 times in a row and just try to build a little fire? I mean, we forgot Nick Saban pulled his quarterback in the national championship game, brought in a backup to win the game. And that was a team that had 3 NFL starting quarterbacks. Okay, you had Hurt, Tua Tagovailoa, and Mac Jones. I mean, he had 3 NFL starting quarterbacks, and he made a change. So the 3 and out thing drives me up a pole. I could climb a greased pole when I keep seeing those 3 and outs, and everybody's kind of looking at each other like, well, I didn't get it. I don't know why we did it. I mean, you got to be on offense. Has got to be on fire. They got to be making things happen. They got to be pushing people around. And I agree with you guys. I thought Ashton Daniels was extremely poised. He looks like he'd been there before. And
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying you throw Jackson Arnold over the back fence either, but whoever is in, if they ain't scoring touchdowns, and I'll underline that too, you can't win kicking field goals every week. That's back to the Gus Malzahn days. You got to score touchdowns in that red zone, and if you ain't doing it, put somebody else in there. It's that simple. It's that simple. And I don't get it. Of course, I don't make $18 million a year to lose ball games either. So I am going to pick the Auburn Tigers here. Go ahead, Rusty.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to mention, and I kind of heard it this week and checked into it. And, Daniel still has the ability because he has not had a red shirt. Mm-hmm. He could red shirt this season still. So that is in the mindset. Do you set him out one week against Monroe and save him? Or, I mean, that is – or do you even think that way when in the NIL era? I don't know. I think right now you win this game. I don't think it's any question about this week. It's just something to throw out there. There's no doubt Arnold has the ability, as good of an ability as anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But it don't transfer to the field. It didn't at Oklahoma, and it don't seem to at Auburn. Mm-hmm. So I think Daniels is the guy, and I just think, he brought for the team, the expectations changed immediately, and he was comfortable. He done a great job. If you look back, he's had a lot of turnovers when he was at Stanford. That's the only thing that you can say at Stanford. But turnovers were an issue. We didn't see those Saturday, and if he can keep those under control, I think he's the quarterback the rest of the year. But keep that in mind. They could think about redshirting.
Yeah,
Well,
I saw that with the whole Mercer situation. They might, start Deuce, let him get some reps with the first team in an in-game situation. That way, you can use that red shirt if you had to on Ashton Daniels.
I think I said Monroe, but it is Mercer. You're right.
Yeah. The Mercer Bears.
Yeah, I think too, like a lot of people, because he's shown so much poise in the time that he played last Saturday. Everyone that I've seen interviews and stuff, because he went to Stanford, that's where he went to school. Like everyone says, and I hate to quote another movie, but from Good Will Hunting, that dude is wicked smart. You know what I mean? It wouldn't shock me at all that he just shows poise like he's been in the SEC for years. For hopefully this Saturday and from future games. So we'll see.
Well, at least we know this: iron sharpens iron, and if there's at least a threat of a competition for who's going out there, it'll make Arnold better also. All right, guys, there you have the picks. You can take those to the bank, and we will be right back with our wrap-up segment here on the Tailgate Tailgate Show.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, decals, and focus more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels wants to be your reliable printer. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels, 205-640-4552 or GuaranteedLabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
Land is more than just dirt and timber. When you manage it, you're a steward of wildlife and a caretaker for future generations. The management advantage was built for people like you. For over 20 years, they've shared proven knowledge from some of the nation's top land and wildlife managers. From food plots to predator control, it's education that turns passion into a lasting impact. Have the advantage on your property. Subscribe on YouTube and follow the Management Advantage on social media today.
Just got that new boat? Let Sunrise Docks protect your investment with Swift Shield boat covers, Neptune boat lifts, and easy ports for your personal watercraft. Plus, they have composite decking that stays cool, designed with your feet in mind. Sunrise Docks is always first in quality, first in service, and first in customer satisfaction. Right off Highway 63, your Lake Martin headquarters, with 2 barges and the most experienced boat lift crew on the lake. Sunrise Docks is your lake life expert. Call 256-392-5200.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Tailgate Tailgate Show. It is the tailgate show for the tailgaters. Our website is the tailgatetailgateshow.com. Be sure to check everything out there. And our radio partners, if you get this as a podcast, that's great. Or you may hear it on your local radio station as you head out to the ball games on Saturday morning. Be sure to check our listings for stations and times. Guys, it has been a pleasure this week. Hunter has been along with us, Nathan Hall, and our guest picker, Rusty Taylor. And Rusty, tell everybody what all you're doing now.
Well, I get to do, I have a regular job, but we don't talk about that.
No, but nobody.
My joy is broadcasting and being on the radio. And actually in the morning, I'll be on Coaching Friends on Classic Country 90.9. Wednesday's my day with Coach Herron. So that'll get cranked off at 6 o'clock in the morning on Classic Country 90.9. We talk about a little bit of everything. And, of course, Bubba's been able to be with us. Hunter's been in. I was unable to be there when Hunter was. But it's a fun show. We have fun with it. And then we move right into the three-point stance, which is a sports show from 8 to 10. Of course, as you mentioned, a lot going on there. But I just tell you, the Radio Alabama family, which we're part of, you can go right there on Radio Alabama, get the app. You can find us, take us wherever you go. You can find our Clay Central Sports Network. All of our stuff is there. Of course, you can find stuff's uploaded on all the available podcast links. Anywhere you get your podcast, you can find us there too. Everything is there. But we have fun. It's fun radio. And I look forward to every Wednesday morning. Wished I could do it more, but I do have a regular job that I'm still trying to figure out how much longer I'm going to do. But, they do take care of us. We just have fun covering volunteer athletics and, Radio Alabama. And, everybody down there is just so good to us. Mr. Lee Perryman's so good, gives us everything we need. They're actually updating our studios now and giving us some more places to record and do things. It's just constantly improving things and, trying to give us the best equipment. You guys know, and I know Bubba does, that's so important, and we hadn't always been blessed with that here, and we are now. So we're just excited about it, and you can always join us there. You might even hear Bubba or Hunter, or who knows, we might have Nathan on before you know it. So we enjoy having guests and having a good time. Coach Herron's a great guy. He's on each week, and we kind of change who's on there with him, and then move into the three-point stance from 8 to 10. But that's every weekday. And Tommy Wood, which Bubba knows me and Tommy does a volunteer voices show. Coach Herron's with us on Saturday mornings. We do that from 8 to 10, and we recap our volunteers and then go through mainly high school and a little bit of college each Saturday morning on that. So just a lot going on. Normally Thursday we have football fiesta, which is the thing we do from hey guys, a Mexican restaurant, we broadcast and do an hour-long football show. How can you get better than that? I guess better would be Taco Tuesday, but hey, we do it on Thursday, so we do that. So you can find anything. We're constantly on the radio, and you may see us anywhere doing it. So we just have fun.
Rusty, I tell you, I want to echo that. Lee Perryman and his guys at Radio Alabama, y'all do such a wonderful job. Matter of fact, several of our stations that we're on are Radio Alabama stations, and we certainly appreciate them. They're crazy as we are to try some new things, and I love it. And you guys just do a great job. When I stumbled across y'all, I knew I'd found a show that I liked because y'all were as goofy as I was. And I appreciate that. I really do. And I tell people ask me all the time, they said, what is the best morning show in your state? Because I'm getting to listen to a lot of them now, and I tell them it is on Classic Country in Ashland, Alabama. You guys are having a ball, and it is fun. And we're going to get the other guys in here, too. We're going to get Coach Weems. We're going to get Dave the barber before the year's over and have a lot of fun. We need to have a big cookout with you guys.
Absolutely. We have a good time, and that's what our show is. If you want to know what our show is, the best way for me to describe it is we come in and a few of us sit around and we turn the mics on. And we're just sitting there talking about whatever's going on or whatever we did yesterday or whatever we're going to do today. I mean, that's really what it is on that Classic Country morning. Now, we get a little more focused when we move into the three-point stance sometimes. But that's really what the show is, and people seem to enjoy it. We enjoy. I think that comes through. If the people doing the show is really enjoying themselves, people catch on to that, and we've got a good listenership that really follows us, and we appreciate it, and it continues to grow, and we just really have fun, and we'll have fun in the morning. It's Lord willing.
Rusty, it reminds me a lot of a little radio show I used to love in Gadsden, Alabama. You guys are doing a great job. Very proud for you and everything going on. I want to wrap up by saying that we do not have a Tailgater of the Week. It's on me. Awards to remember. Robert D. Smith's helping us out with that. The coveted Silver Sow Award, or maybe it's not as coveted as I thought. We're going to give you Chick-fil-A stuff and money. Okay, there's other things. Okay, but I promise you, the first week that I could do this show without a tube coming out of me somewhere, we'll have a winner. Okay. And until then, I mean, I got them in my arm, out my leg here. I got it. Y'all probably heard my wound pump during the show, spitting over here. It's great. But we'll get to that. If you're a tailgater, let us know. We'd love to give you an award. Trust me. We also have new merchandise just in time for fall. Rusty was mentioning a little chill in the air. We got some hoodies. We got sweatshirts. We got other things. And, of course, you can catch this show across all the social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and X. We have had an excellent show. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Nathan. And thank you, Rusty Taylor, our guest picker. Until next time, when toe touches leather, remember God loves you, and we do too. And we'll see you on the Tailgate Tailgate Show.
Hey Auburn fans, this is Lois Ann Murphy, your owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Alex City, located on Highway 280. As a former Auburn cheerleader, football is my favorite time of the year. Tailgating and Chick-fil-A are a perfect match. Let Chick-fil-A Alex City take care of all your catering needs. We have a variety of trays, nuggets, mac and cheese, grilled cool wraps, and more. All are perfect for your tailgating needs. Place your order through the Chick-fil-A app or call 256-289-7955 and War Eagle.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kinda just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
Looking for your dream home at Lake Martin? Trust Adam Yeager at Lake Martin Realty. Adam's honest, hardworking, and puts you, the client, first. Every time. With his local expertise and dedication, he'll guide you to the perfect property, hassle-free. Whether buying or selling, let Adam go to work for you. Call Adam Yeager at Lake Martin Realty today, 205-914-0830. Lake Martin Realty is a licensed real estate brokerage. Terms and conditions apply.
You've been listening to the Tailgate Tailgate Show, a production of Intergalactic Pants and Tees, all rights reserved. Be sure to like and follow and subscribe to the show and all social media. Contact information is on our website at thetailgatetailgateshow.com. Until next time, may your coals stay hot and your tent stay dry.